We're talking about the weekend's display at Old Trafford. Ruud van Nistelrooy's last game. It wasn't a long time, but it was a good time. He stabilised us. He got us points. He didn't lose a game. And we beat Leicester 3-0. Clean sheet, more points. Ahmad special. Mazraoui brilliant. Ugarte was starting to see it. Over to you, Ruben.
Yeah, enough said about Højlund and Rashford. But no...
Crookie,
I'm joking.
We'll do the positives
We're on the
first.
positive.
We will talk about that, though.
I think what you can say about Ruud van Nistelrooy, and obviously we'll get into the details of his departure, is that even in a short time span, he brought the soul back to the football club. He certainly brought the feel-good factor back. Listen, we don't know. Erik ten Hag, if he'd stayed in charge, may well have won the same 3 games that Ruud did. I'm pretty sure we'd have lost to Chelsea with ten Hag in situ. But 3 wins and a draw, a real buzz about the place again, emotional scenes at the end of the game on Sunday in front of the Stretford end. What more do you want? So I think all Manchester United fans wish him well. There'll be a little bit of sadness that he's not going to be part of the new setup, but I think we all probably deep down understand that, and so does he.
Yeah, look, Amorim's coming in. Ruud, we know, has left. Crookie just said there that actually we probably thought that was the right decision. Right decision for Ruud to leave?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a couple of different ways to look at it. I think for Ruud van Nistelrooy himself, this has gone swimmingly for him. I don't think he ever took that Manchester United job like, I want to be an assistant coach for 5 years, because he's already been a manager. I think he thought, I'll come, and this is not being disrespectful saying this, I think he thought, I can come into this role, I'll either get given the job full time, I'll either get the caretaker role and put myself in a really good position because, you know, we're coming up to international break. This is kind of, you know, sacking season. Yep. You know, he's in a really good position. Or he thought, maybe I'll be a coach for a year or 2. If we can get things going with Man United, that still puts me in a good position because I could get a job. I was part of getting Man United back on their feet. So I think it couldn't have gone better for him. And I think he did everything that we needed him to do. You know, he got wins. We only dropped points against Chelsea. Going into all of those games, we were sceptical if we'd actually win any of them. That was the situation we were in. So to win 3 of them is great. He got players scoring goals. So he kind of did everything that we needed him to do. But I agree, I just think that if he wasn't a club legend, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. It's just because he's a club legend. And I think that, you know, we need to give Amorim the best possible chance of success. And if that's having his core people in, then so be it. But I don't think Ruud van Nistelrooy will be sat, you know, crying, you know, rivers of tears about it, because it puts him in a very good position. And it wouldn't surprise me if there are some sackings lower down in the Premier League table that I'm not saying he would get the job, but that his name is probably going to now be mentioned, and that's probably what he wanted. Yeah,
I mean, after the game, you know, doing our post-match stuff, you know, a couple of Leicester fans come over to me and they said, Flex, you know what, Steve Cooper out, Ruud in. And I didn't really clock what he was saying at the beginning, and then I realised, and I thought, actually, you know what, with what you're basically saying there, there's some adverts there. I mean, look, he was touted for the Burnley job, which was a team that's probably looking to come straight back up to the Premier League. There's going to be, like, say, sackings further down the league. You know, you see what happened maybe at Southampton, maybe even at West Ham. You look at Leicester struggling. There could be opportunities for Ruud. And I thought, Ruud, Leicester. Actually, yeah, don't mind that for him. He deserves to go on and have the platform. But last thing on Ruud before we move on to the actual game, I just want to say, thank you, Ruud. You know, he stabilised us. I love that he was able to have that reception in front of the Stretford end and at the various games, everyone singing his name. For him, it would have been a really proud moment to have us for those 4 games. We didn't let him down. The players stabilised. He just got his point across and said, this is what it means to be a Man United player. Let's keep things ticking over until the new manager gets here. And it was a big tick for him. On the game, Man United, fairly comfortable, dominated. There were some really good individual performances, some not so good individual performances. I want to start at Bruno. 250th game, a goal and a half. He scored, because, you know, till I saw the replays
Should have been given to him, I think.
Should have been given to him. It wasn't quite. But he's been directly involved in 100 goals and 170 appearances for Man United in the league. That's 56 goals and 44 assists, reaching the milestone with just one more appearance than Cristiano Ronaldo, who had 169 upon doing so. He's received a lot of criticism in recent weeks, months. You know, we're better off without him, doesn't keep the ball well enough, this, that and the other. But you see numbers like that. How important is he to what Ruben Amorim's going to want to do?
He's a class player. He hasn't shown that consistently this season. In fact, you could say that he struggled when Ten Hag was in situ, but I don't think it's a coincidence he's scored, as you say, 4.5 goals in 3 games since Ten Hag went. So it's like he's been freed from the shackles. I think we could debate his captaincy credentials until the cows come home, but in terms of his ability, he's right up there as probably United's best all-round player.
So some people, I've seen fans who say, listen, we're better off without Bruno.
I don't agree with that.
What do you say to people who say that?
I think if he was surrounded by good players and the right environment, you'll see him prosper. I mean, we shouldn't forget what he did when he first came to the football club during that COVID season. He was the driving force for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yes, he's lost his way a little bit this season, but I think the whole football club lost their way a bit in the opening weeks of the season. I think he's one player who is going to really benefit from having a top-class coach like Ruben Amorim, having that settled environment, maybe the change of system, because I think he's more than capable of playing in that number 10 role behind a striker, one of the 2 10s that we expect Amorim really, to implement. So, yeah, I think the signs are good for Bruno Fernandes, and I think anybody who says United are a better team without him probably doesn't know football.
Oof. I know a few names. I know they could be watching Crookie. I like it. I'm gonna clip this little bit and show them that actually. Angelina, do you agree with Crookie though? Is there anything in the other side of fans who have their opinion that the way he plays and this, that, and the other, and the moaning and the whinging, or is that just complete nonsense? Like he's a player who affects games, and without him, will be a lot worse. Yeah,
I mean it's 83 goals, 72 assists in all competitions. I agree with Crookie. I think that he has to be part. I mean, he has to be part of it because let's be honest, he's been given a contract extension. He's one of the highest earners. He is, the powers that be will be saying, this is someone that you've got to have involved in your team. And for other reasons, he should be involved. I think, arguably, since Sir Alex Ferguson's departure, he's been the best creative spark that we've had, the best signing that we've had post-Fergie, you could argue.
Been the best player.
Yeah, and just all round. And I get what Crookie's saying. People, debate the captain, say, me personally, I have a little bit more time for him. I get people go on about the theatrics, but I mean, this is the Premier League, there's theatrics every game. I understand people's complaints, but I think overall, he has to be involved. I think that there is a position for him. I mean, just that Leicester game alone, I get it's Leicester before people jump on it, but, he had the most passes apart from Martinez, the amount of touches that he had in the box. I think it was, the most passes in the final third was 33 passes. The next person close to that, it was 17. So it's nearly double. It's like, he's a very important person, and I think, they'd be a fool to not use him, but I don't think we're going to have to worry about that because he's going to be in that 11. Whatever formation, whatever happens, there's going to be a spot for Bruno.